everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk and our newest episode, episode 4 of Let's Talk Physical Media. I'm John and this is Matt, and today we're going to be talking about a bunch of different subjects, but this is the show where we just kind of shoot the shit, talk about physical media, movies, and answer your questions, which we actually had a grand total of 1 this week, and it was from you, which bothered me, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you are a fan of physical media, 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, tech reviews, game reviews, we try and do them all here on this channel. And nothing would help us out more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And the first thing we like to do on this video is pop open a beer. And this is something called Sail Away Club, the original. It's some kind of cold brew and seltzer thing. I'm going to give it a try. Matt's got some kind of Bud Light seltzer.
Yeah, I went with a seltzer myself. I like to try the seltzers every once in a while when I'm not in the mood for a beer. You know, it's kind of early in the day, so I figured a seltzer. This is Black Cherry Lemonade by Bud Light.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. I've had that.
Really?
Yeah, this is good, though. So, right off the top, we like to hit the new news. So, anything that's been... So, this is going to be John and Matt with the news. And the big thing that got announced this week as far as physical media, number one right out of the gate was Wall-E coming to 4K on
Is it Wall-E or Wally?
I was
Wall-E.
Well, Wall-E was that's how Eve used to say it.
I actually never saw that movie.
What?
Never saw it.
For a long time, that was my favorite Pixar movie. I love Wall-E. I don't know if you'll like it that much. It spends like the first 30 minutes of the movie, there's no dialogue, but it's so perfect. That's why I think this movie makes perfect sense to go to the Criterion Collection, because it's considered Pixar's best film.
So I've noticed there is a handful of Criterion stuff that I like, and everything else I'm like, it's just not for me.
No, and I get that. Knowing your taste in films, it's not your kind of films. Like, these are very much like... these are films that have inspired other filmmakers. They're very important films that, like, you know, a lot of them are low budget, a lot of them are foreign, and you're not a big foreign film guy. Like, I'm sure you've never even heard of Akira Kurosawa or Wong Kar-wai, like any of these famous, you know, directors who've made some films that I personally love.
Right.
But they're not your kind of films.
Yeah, I think I only have like 6 or 7 Criterion releases.
Well, I think you should get Wall-E, and it's just crazy that... Because Criterion also doesn't release movies like this from big studios. Like, this is Disney.
Right.
Disney and Criterion, that's never happened. This is the first time. This is a huge deal. The biggest film I think that Criterion has ever released before this was when they released Armageddon. And that's not even on the Criterion collection anymore. You can
did Armageddon?
They did Armageddon.
Bruce Willis Armageddon?
Yeah.
Like Michael Bay?
1998's Michael Bay, Armageddon. You can look it up. You can't get it now, but they did have a Criterion release.
Is it a DVD or
it's
a Blu-ray?
DVD.
So it wasn't a Blu-ray?
It's old.
Okay.
It's gone. Like, if you want it, I looked it up because I wanted to see how much it costs. It's expensive, and it's really hard to get. And it'll never come to Blu-ray. It'll never come to 4K. I'd be shocked if it does.
Now, what was the reasoning behind that? Why did they do it, and then why did they backtrack on it?
I believe the reason they did it was for money. And then I think they backtracked because it goes completely against the brand of Criterion.
Gotcha.
Which is, you know, this is not a lot of Criterion movies I would think are like thinking man's movies or thinking woman's movies. Like, you know, these are more like very much people who are really into filmmaking.
Now, I haven't seen Armageddon in a long time.
Mm.
And I don't remember hating it, but I don't remember loving it. I thought it was more of an adult movie, but I saw it as a kid.
Armageddon is actually very enjoyable. It's very stupid. It's a Michael Bay movie. But you love
Michael Bay.
No, you'll love it. And I personally, I'm a fan of it. It's definitely, and you just missed the boat because it's very much a summer blockbuster.
Well, I do have it on Blu-ray. I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
but I've seen it a long time ago.
I can't believe I watch that movie every couple of years. It's great.
It's been probably 20 years since I've seen Armageddon.
Oh my god! Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You have to rewatch that. You would love it.
It's right there. I can actually see it.
It's your type of movie, 100%. You know, maybe get the Criterion DVD of it. I'm sure.
Well, I have the Blu-ray. I'm sure that's better than the DVD.
I can't believe that doesn't have a 4K. That movie, you don't understand how popular that movie was. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith was the number one. That's their only number one.
Well, his daughter, Liv Taylor, was in it, right?
Liv Tyler, yeah. That's the second movie with freaking Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler.
I just watched yesterday something with Liv Tyler. Oh, The Strangers. I just watched that yesterday.
She's actually good in that.
Yeah, she was pretty good. And actually, Dennis, what's his name? Glenn Howerton?
Glenn Howerton.
Yeah, Howerton from Always Sunny in Philadelphia fame was in it. I was like, holy shit, that's Dennis.
Yeah.
And that's probably a very early role. Like, this is probably...
2008, I want to say?
Is it? Oh, wait, you nailed it.
I'm very good with picking movie years. I can actually look at a movie and look at it, and I can just tell from the film stock when it came out. It's a really weird thing I can do.
I mean, I would look at an actor and I can give you a ballpark, but I can't nail years like that.
I'm very good. It's a habit and a talent that really serves no purpose
Useless
other than
talent. This guy has all the useless talents, none of the good ones.
No, I can't fix a thing. You're lucky if I put a light bulb in without getting electrocuted. That's how my life is. It's almost a joke. I can tell you when The Strangers came out, so if you're ever wondering, call me up. Oh wait.
Yeah, whenever I have a movie question, before I even Google something, I'll just call John.
Yeah, it's my one talent, and that's why I guess it works for this channel. Speaking of which, so WALL-E, which is a Pixar film, getting back to Criterion's release of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited for that. I hope it opens the door to them having a bigger relationship with Disney, and that we get some better 4K transfers, because Disney is the worst at doing 4K transfers.
Like now, I'm speculating, I'm dreaming now. Do you imagine? Well, they would never do the Marvel stuff, right?
Oh, you know what? This really does open the door for this.
It does, but like you said, this is more of a significant
film. Yeah, and I feel like that Criterion got together with Disney and said, hey, let's get together and make the films that like fit the Criterion brand, that also come from the Disney brand as far as classic films. So I guess I think this opens the door not for Marvel movies, but maybe Eternals, actually, speaking of MCU movies, because, that's...
The Eternals?
Yeah, because that is considered like more of a, highbrow MCU movie, and it also... Beauty and the Beast I could see coming to 4K from them.
I would love for them to do all of the classic ones from the 30, like when they started, right?
Like Fantasia,
all of them.
Bambi,
Jungle Book, Peter Pan, all the heavy hitters from back in the day.
Pinocchio, which has just got a release. On
all the ones that came in the white clamshells.
Yeah.
Give us a reason to have those, because I started collecting some of those Blu-rays, but now with Disney Plus, and they were always so expensive. I'm sure Criterion would be more expensive, but still,
they're more expensive, Criterion, but the effort always shows. One of the big things we have a review on this channel for Blowout, and that could have been just a throwaway 4K that no one cared about. They just threw the disc in, and the packaging isn't an upgrade at all. Actually, completely no upgrade at all. But they put so much work into that 4K and making it look good that Criterion just does that. They don't half-ass it.
Well, actually, I do have to say that I'm looking at my shelf right now because it's behind the camera. For the handful of Criterion movies that I do have, I think with the exception of one, maybe two, they're all nice packaging and artwork, and the slipcovers come off, and there's booklets. I think the only ones that I have that aren't like that are Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That one's just a basic cover, and what's the other one? Shaft, maybe?
Yeah, but Shaft is a great 4K as far as it's amazing transfer.
Right.
I know you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I didn't watch that yet. Oh, and Deep Cover.
Same thing. Amazing transfer. You'll love Deep Cover. I can't wait till you see Deep Cover, because I know you're going to like it.
I have to grab it now that we're talking about it. My favorite Criterion was probably Dazed and Confused. Now, I love this movie. This is an awesome movie. But just, the way they did this, it slides out of there, and... Oh, look at that. All the pictures line up to the holes in the slipcover.
Yeah.
This is such a beautiful... And there's pictures on the inside of the slipcover that you can't really see unless you pull it out. And then they did this. There's a little, note... Because this is a movie about being in high school in the 60s. Or the 70s.
Yeah. Speaking of Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck was in this.
Yeah, early Ben Affleck.
This is... How many pages? 70 pages?
Oh, yeah.
In this little book? This is...
They spare no expense. They're the John Hammond of physical media.
This is just an incredible...
Yeah.
Oh, and what's her name is in here with Ben Affleck? It was in Chasing Amy.
Oh, yes. The girl...
I forget her name.
You know who else is in there? Your girl, Mila Jovovich, is also in that. Young Mila Jovovich.
She is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she might be uncredited, actually.
She's one of the teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Look how cool this is.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
I don't have this. I don't have this.
That poster that comes in there, this is fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stuff we live for. As the collector, this is nice.
Criterion knows their audience, and they know, hey, this is what they're going to
But they don't do this for every release.
No, that's a special release, but that's also a big movie for Criterion. Dazed and Confused is something that crossed over and became popular. Half the movies, the Criterion releases, I'm sure you don't even know the names.
Who directed this?
That's Richard Linklater. He did the Before trilogy. Let me try to think of another movie you might know Richard Linklater. Oh, School of Rock.
Jack Black.
Yes, he directed that, so I know you would know that.
I never saw that, actually.
What?
Never saw.
That's the one.
Actually, I probably have. I just don't remember.
That's the one I would have said that you definitely saw, because that's the outlier in his filmography.
No, yeah, so I probably saw that. I know the cover. It's Jack Black with the guitar. School Rock is in red, kind of like the Rolling Stone cover. But I don't remember the movie much.
No, that's a fun little movie. Him, Jack Black, Jake Cusack. I like School Rock a lot. I think you would definitely like it if you haven't seen it. But then another big release this week, getting off of the Criterion topic, is Sony Pictures Classics.
The 30th.
The anniversary release. And that's a 10-movie 4K release. I believe all 10 of the movies have Dolby Vision on it and HDR. So and out of the movies, I'm going to read them off.
And Sony usually does pretty well with their 4K discs and all their transfers. Sony's usually, out of like the non-boutique labels, Sony generally has the nicer of the products, I think.
So here's the weird thing about the Sony Pictures Classics coming out. It comes out, I believe, 2 weeks before the Columbia Classics.
Okay.
These are both Sony releases.
Oh, wow.
Because Columbia is a Sony company. If you've ever been to a movie lately and you see the Columbia logo pop up, the big thing on the bottom, if you ever look, it says a Sony company. Sony owns Columbia. So these are both Sony releases. And it's weird that they would do it 2 weeks apart. They're very similar.
Is there any overlap?
No, not as far as films. Because Sony Pictures Classics is like their studio that really goes for like awards. That's like their, very highbrow. This is a very I'm going to read off all 10 of the films in here, and I want you to shout out if you've heard of it.
That just reminded me of the scene in, it was one of the Kevin Smith movies. Someone's going for an Oscar.
Yeah, that's Chainsaw Bob Reboot.
That Reboot?
Yeah. Oh, somebody wants an Oscar. Justin Long says it.
Yeah.
He's like, this whole court's out of order, and then Justin Long goes, somebody wants an Oscar. I love Justin Long and Chainsaw. Forget it. We're going to see that tonight. We're really excited.
Oh, yeah.
So that's on our minds.
That's why we're decked out in Kevin Smith gear. We're going
tonight
to the big old city, the Big Apple, Manhattan, to the Beacon Theater, and we're checking out Clerks 3 live with Kevin Smith.
Yep. So actually, this video comes out on a Sunday. We're filming this on Friday, but our Clerks 3 review should already be up, so if you want our thoughts on that, check out that.
Previous video before this should be, right?
Yep. This is that Saturday, and this is Sunday. So I'm going to read off the 10 films that are coming in this set. And Matt, don't be afraid to shout any of them out if you've ever heard of them. First one is Orlando, which I actually have heard of but never seen.
Orlando Bloom?
No, nothing to do with Orlando Bloom.
Okay.
The one that I'm really excited that I have never seen is The Celluloid Closet, because that is a documentary. I really want to see that. The City of Lost Children, that's one I've never heard of or seen. Run Lola Run, I've heard of this, never seen it. SLC Punk, this is another one that I have heard of but never seen. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I've heard of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Penis.
Okay. From old school?
Way to give it 110%.
But this is one that I have seen. I remember being on school on the bus. And all
Is that a Bruce Lee movie, The Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No, Bruce Lee was long dead when this movie came out. 2000, I believe this movie came out.
Strike.
Yeah, I just remember everyone. Now, this is one that I'm excited. I have seen this. The Devil's Backbone, which is a Guillermo del Toro film. I believe it's his first film. Spanish Civil War film, if I'm correct. Really good movie, though. Yeah, Volver. That's one I've never seen. Synecdoche, New York. This movie I love.
Who?
I would almost buy this whole set just for this.
What is it?
It's called Synecdoche, New York. It's a Philip Seymour Hoffman film, directed by Charlie Kaufman.
I think that's a town.
It is a town.
Okay.
But it's in New York. Yeah.
But I think it's like upstate. It's not on the island.
Well, the whole point of this movie is he pretty much buys this gigantic warehouse. Like, I'm talking one where you can fit the whole city of Manhattan in it. And he basically has everybody, he hires people to do a play.
Are you sure about that's big?
I know. Well, you know, if you don't know Charlie Kaufman, this will make no sense to you.
Okay.
Because you've never seen Being John Malkovich. He does these, like...
I don't think there's a building that big.
No, it's a total fan. He hires actors to play out his own life. He hires somebody to play him. And then he's the director.
In real life?
No, in the movie.
Oh, okay.
No, this movie would go... don't ever see it. You won't like it. You'll be confused as shit.
Okay.
And, but definitely a movie I love. I watched a whole series on YouTube about them breaking down this movie. It was like 8 hours long.
Oof.
I loved that movie. So I would almost buy it just for that. And then Still Alice, which I have never seen as well. And Call Me By Your Name. I have seen that, but I wasn't a huge fan, and now it's a little bit harder to see it with Armie Hammer being in it, knowing that he is a cannibal or has cannibal fantasies. I don't know, something weird with him. So he's pretty much written off, and I also didn't like the age gap between him and Timothée Chalamet. Wasn't a great movie. for me personally. It was beautifully made, but I didn't love it. So I don't know if I can buy that whole set.
How much is it? Do we have a price?
No, we don't have a price yet, but 10 4K discs in one set in that nice packaging.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be $169.
I was gonna guess $199.99, which would be $20 a disc.
All right, so okay, yeah, that makes more sense actually. Yeah, it's probably gonna be $199, and then.
Oh yeah, it's right here. Samsonite. I was way off.
It's definitely a weird choice, and it's a very limited run, so I don't see the price dropping like the Columbia Classics. And I'll be 100% honest. If I'm going to grab either the Columbia Classics or that, I'm grabbing that. Because A, there's at least 3 movies in there I want to see, even though it's only 3 of 10. I might come around and watch them all. There's a lot I haven't seen. The Columbia,
yeah.
So I think, honestly, I might grab that.
Yeah, there's nothing in there not one interests me in that.
No, I totally not your thing. But a movie that is your thing, I think, and that is 8 Mile. That's going to get a 4K release.
I do like 8 Mile. I actually just recently got that on Blu-ray.
Of course you did.
Like, it might have even been in my August pickups. I don't remember. It was pretty recently. I got it from Groove, and I think it's an old Blu-ray, too.
It's a very old Blu-ray. That's why this 4K upgrade I'm actually kind of excited about. It's also getting a steelbook, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's an okay movie. I don't hate it. I don't love it. You know, I'm not, like, over the moon.
When was the last time you watched it?
Honestly, the last time I can remember watching it is when we shared a room at Christine's house.
That's the last time I watched it, too.
So me and John, when we were younger, I was in, I think, 11th grade, and you were in no grade.
Yeah, I took a year off of school and got homeschooled for a few months for anxiety issues.
You played Xbox 360 every day.
Yeah, once the school called up my dad and told him that I hadn't gone to school in 5 months, I went right back to public school.
Yeah, our bedroom was huge. Like, we both had 2 queen-size beds, and then on the one side of the room, we had, my TV was in one corner, and then we had a TV in the middle, and then John's TV over there. So we would be both sitting, like, kind of on an angle, back to back almost, and then a TV in the middle, which we would put movies on while we were playing video games. And I think we were playing like Gears of War online multiplayer at the time. This was like very early Xbox 360.
2006. Fall 06 is when we shared.
So I remember we both had HD TVs, and the one in the middle was an old CRT, and I think we had a PS2, and we would just watch DVDs on it.
We'd hook up the DVD player too.
And that's the last time I remember watching 8 Mile.
That's the last time I watched 8 Mile too. And I want to go back because even though we weren't fans of these actors at the time, but you're going to stick out, like the one guy who verses in it is Anthony Mackie, who's Falcon.
Gotcha. Okay, so the one thing I did, I just watched, what was it, Cherry Falls, because I've been collecting all the Scream Factory horror Blu-rays, all the Shout Factory, Scream Factories, and I came across this movie, Cherry Falls, and I forget the actress's name, but she was also in 8 Mile, but she's dead now. The girl the blonde chick?
Brittany Murphy?
Maybe.
No, not Kim Basinger, his mom, right? Because that's Batman's girlfriend from the first 1989 Batman.
No. Okay.
It was
Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah, I know she's been dead for like 15 years.
Yeah, but she was in 8 Mile.
Yeah, 8 Mile's from 2002.
So yes, I have the old Blu-ray, still haven't even opened. I think I just got this from Groove, like, recently.
But look how old it is. You can look at the bottom of it.
It was only a couple bucks, so I guess, I don't know, I hate upgrading stuff that I haven't even opened yet. And then Cherry Falls was a decent movie. I got this mainly because Michael Biehn was in it, and I love Michael Biehn.
Yeah, well, so that's the other big news is 8 Mile. You should rewatch it. Brittany Murphy, Kim Basinger, like I said, she's fucking awesome from Batman. You know, although she's not great in Batman, she's good in 8 Mile from what I remember. But like Matt said, it's been 16 years, so who knows?
Been a while.
One of us should get that 4K since we both haven't seen it forever.
Right, yeah.
And then one I'm going to probably grab because I know you won't and I understand. And that's Wayne's World from 4K coming out for its 30th anniversary.
I love Wayne's World, I really do. But
you just rewatched it too.
I just rewatched them weeks ago with my girlfriend. She has never seen them. And we had she never saw it. And we had a great time. I absolutely love Wayne's World. If they did a double pack with Wayne's World 2 on 4K, no problem. I'll buy that. But I have a pack, and I'm not going to get Wayne's World by itself and now have... Because I'm running out of room on my shelf, and I'm just trying to... You know, if there was both and I can take off what I have and replace it, sure. But I'm not going to just keep adding to it. You know, that's the thing with the Halloweens. Like, The original Scream Factory box set with all 10 of them with the Rob Zombie films in there was nice, complete, compact. It was nice, and now they're releasing all of them individually, and it just tripled the amount of shelf
And on
space.
top of that, since you'll have them all, you still won't have them like Rob Zombie ones.
And I have to keep.
So you have to keep it just for that.
So it's like,
Yeah, I know. Because eventually those will have a 4K, and then you're just going to end up with 10 fucking discs where it was originally in a nice pack.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I imagine that what they're going to do with Wayne's World is pretty much the same thing they've been doing with Scream, is next year they'll probably release Wayne's World 2 on 4K.
And if they do that, then sure, I will get them both.
And they'll probably get a double pack, let's be honest.
That's why I haven't got any of the Screams yet, because I'm waiting for them to get up to Scream 4 and release the box set.
Now, you don't have Scream 5 yet?
I have Scream 5.
Oh, you do? Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Alright, I was making sure you still had that, because that came in a double pack with the first one.
With the original, correct.
Yes, which I was thinking about grabbing, because I don't know if you guys remember last year, Scream came to 4K, but it got delayed until after Halloween. So I canceled my order because I was like, I want to watch this before Halloween.
Oh, you never got it.
And I never got it, so now I still don't have it. So all I have as far as Screams go is just that box set with all 4 of them in, and then Scream on 4K by itself. And I kind of regret doing that because I could have got Scream in the 4K, and I just went for 5. And
You have 5?
I have 5, but I only
You
have.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, but I wish I would have got that double pack. I'm not
I
gonna
really
lie.
want all of them on 4K. I wish 3 and 4 were out already because I want them all and I want to watch them this year.
I know. And my least favorite of the Screams is Scream 2, so I don't really. It's hard for me to justify buying that.
Still a good movie.
I know. Listen, Scream. If we're gonna talk Scream. Scream is the horror franchise. I think that all 5 movies are good.
They're all
It's
consistent.
rare that you see a bad
They're
one.
very consistent. And I would say the Halloweens are like that too.
Yeah, well, Halloween's dips. Like, Halloween 5 is tough, and Resurrection is tough, and I'm not a big fan of the Rob Zombies. But really, 1 through 4, it's perfect, and then I really like H2O.
But that's also, what do we have, 12 movies now?
12, 13 coming out in
So-
a month.
And that, speaking of 13 movies, Friday the 13th, there's 12 Friday the 13th. How has no one capitalized
Well,
on Friday the 13th, 13?
that's when money comes in. But there's a rumor, and it seems like it's going to happen. It looks like they are going to reboot. It looks like they finally have a studio. One studio. That's been the problem, is that they've been fighting over the rights to this. That's what, since 2009. Who has the rights to the Friday the 13th name? That's why we haven't gotten one. It looks like it's finally settled, and the studio is going to finally reboot it.
Again, though, we just got the reboot in 09,
Yeah,
which
but-
is a while ago now, I
What
guess.
studio did that? Do you remember? I know it was Platinum Dunes was the one who made it, but who distributed it? Because from what I understand, that studio doesn't have the rights anymore, so they can't make a sequel to that. Friday the 13th has gone through this a lot. Originally it was Paramount, then it was New Line, and then whoever did 09, and now what the fuck, who knows?
Well, that's why that one box set was extremely expensive at one point.
I actually love that box set you have, even though it's kind of obsolete now.
Now that the Scream Factory one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a really nice tin that they released.
It is, but I kind of like the Scream Factory one a little tiny bit better.
I mean, I like it more too because A, I'm a big fan. I know you like it more compact, but I'm a big fan when they're individually wrapped.
I like that too. If they're gonna do a big old box set like that Friday the 13th one, then sure, I'll take them all like that. I wish they did the Halloweens like that.
I wish they did the Halloweens like that too. I do not like, and I have to assume it's something to do with rights. I don't like what they did, Scream Factory did with the Halloweens. Last year they weren't released in a pack; they were just released individually.
All single, yeah.
And then this year they're putting the 3 that they are releasing into a pack. So on your shelf, it's going to look weird unless you take them out of that box. And
Right,
but
well-
why would you do that? I don't know. Packaging sometimes can be strange, and some strange decisions are made. But we're not the business guys. We just we can speculate what happened, but we don't really know what happened. I don't understand. It kind of bothers me a little bit because I want to buy them too, but I don't like. I don't have 2. And I don't have 5. And you said 5's really hard to get now, right?
They all are.
I saw Halloween 2 last week at FYE. I forgot to tell you.
Really, how much?
$36.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't buy it.
Right, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Last year, I think they were on sale around Halloween for like $24 at Best Buy.
24 is the lowest I've seen them, honestly.
They're really nice.
They
Like,
are.
The packaging, the actual box designs on these are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they all really like, and this is something I like that they did, is they did the uniform design, like him and the leaves and everything. So it's like, you know what studio did it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like them. I mean, I just wish they were a nice tight box set.
Yeah, me too.
And then I wish Scream Factory would get a hold of Nightmare on Elm. You know, the big three.
Who
And
released
like
that
the
set
4K
from a few years ago? Or
Had to be New
10
Line,
years.
right?
Is that a New Line set? See, there was a rumor a few weeks ago that we were
Who
arguing.
else would do it?
I don't know. Well, New Line's not
New
around.
New Line's the house that Freddie built.
Yeah, I don't think is New Line still around.
I think so.
You see, I didn't get into New Line from Freddie, but yeah, Freddie did build it. I got into New Line from like the Jim Carrey movies. Dumb and Dumber and The Mask were New Line.
Yeah.
So that's where I got into it. And so when I think of New Line, I always think of Jim Carrey movies from 1994. So you're a big thing, and we're going to do a video on this in like either next week or the week after, Wes Craven movies. Because Matt really got into Wes Craven movies. He's like, I want to do a discussion on it because he's getting all the Scream Factory releases. And one thing about Wes Craven's releases, not every one of them are on Blu-ray. And not every one of them are from Scream Factory.
So it's very weird. So the original, his first movie ever was The Last House on the Left.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow Video did a Blu-ray of that. Number 2, Hills Have Eyes. Arrow Video did that. His third movie was Deadly Blessing, which Scream Factory has a hold of. But then there might be something in between that and then Hills Have Eyes Part 2. Oh, Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Swamp Thing you said is really hard to get.
Swamp Thing, I think, is a Scream Factory release also. That one is like $45. I might grab it just to complete the collection. Oh, the Hills Have Eyes Part 2 went back to Arrow. Maybe just because they took the Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very strange how they, like, who has the rights to what. And then you got the Nightmare on Elm Street movie and
which Scream Factory does not.
Yeah, and a New Nightmare that he directed.
Which also Scream Factory does not have.
Yep, and then then you got some movies in between.
And they don't have the Screams either.
Yep, and he did those, which are Miramax. So he's bounced around, and then one of his 2 last movies, which both came out in 2005, are Red Eye and Cursed. And Red Eye has no Blu-ray release, but Cursed does.
Right, yes,
and
Scream Factory has Cursed.
Which is weird because, A, most people remember Red Eye. They don't really remember Cursed. I've actually never seen Cursed, but I love Red Eye.
Yeah, Red Eye's great. I just watched that this year, I think.
Rachel McAdams, same year, I believe, as freaking Wedding Crashers, if I'm correct, and the year after The Notebook and Mean Girls. So, what a run for Rachel McAdams.
Mm-hmm.
But in, what's his name? Who played Cillian Murphy? He's haunting in Red Eye.
He's the guy who plays
Scarecrow
in Batman Begins.
Yeah, he's in Time. He's coming out. He's going to be in the new Christopher Nolan movie. Oppenheimer is going to have Cillian Murphy in it, which is really cool.
In Time, great movie.
Yes!
With JT.
I know. And you know what? It's so funny. I heard people knocking this movie the other day.
I love that movie.
So do I. I mean,
great one.
I know Justin Timberlake isn't the greatest actor, but the movie has an awesome premise. And it's a fun little sci-fi movie.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah, I actually got to go back and rewatch it. I really do like that movie.
You have that on Blu-ray?
I do.
Yeah,
that was actually an early Blu-ray for me. And we were just talking actually earlier about like DVDs, because one thing about DVDs is from 1997 is when they first came out.
97 seems early, wow.
I know. Well, you gotta remember, like 4Ks when they first came out, they had a small part on the shelf.
Right.
And so DVDs probably had the same thing. They had a slow rollout.
Yeah.
And because we didn't get them until the PS2 came out.
The Trojan Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And I think you got your PS2 a year before me? Because did you get it the year? Because it came out what? Did it come out in late 90s? No, the Dreamcast was $999.99. Remember that? $999.99.
I remember I used to go to my mom's house for summer vacation. She lives in New Jersey. She took me to get a PS2, do the first half at my dad's, and then I would go to my mom's in August. So I probably got it like August of whatever, because I remember...
2000? Or did it come... No, it came out in the fall of 2000. So you probably got 01 then.
I know when I picked up my PS2, I got ATV Off-Road Fury and Grand Theft Auto 3.
I can't believe you got freaking ATV. You really used to love those games.
Love those games. And that and Grand Theft Auto 3.
Grand Theft Auto 3 was one of my first PS2 games because I got that for Christmas of that year. And I got Driven. That was my first DVD, was Driven, because my mom's like, oh, he likes NASCAR, so she got me a racing movie. It has nothing to do with NASCAR. Yeah. It's just a freaking Sylvester Stallone movie, and not a good one at that.
No. Is that the one with the quarters on the
Yeah, that's the thing that always sticks out to me, too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
my first DVD was Shrek.
I can't believe your first DVD was Shrek.
Yes, and that was what? Like
2001.
Yeah, so that was my first DVD. I can't believe we went 3-4 years without DVDs.
Well, like you said, The Matrix was probably the big one that made DVD take off because people got really excited. That was a beautiful looking movie with great audio.
So maybe my parents had a DVD player in the living room. Because I remember...
Well, Larry did, who my stepdad was at the time, he did. When we got our house in Mount Sinai, he had a DVD player and he got surround sound. The whole shebang. And you remember the TV? One of those old projector TVs that, really look like shit nowadays.
Yeah. But I remember... my mom had they would send
Columbia House.
They would send you a DVD in the mail in a cardboard sleeve, and I remember kind of moving it around with my thumb to see what it was, because if you open it, you keep it, but if you didn't want it, you could send it back. And I remember The Matrix coming one month, and I was like, oh, we have to keep this. I don't remember the company that it was, but I remember them coming in the mail in these cardboard sleeves. And it would have the address, and you can move that out of the way, and you can kind of see the cover of the movie.
I remember Columbia House. You had to pay a certain amount, and then people still owed them money. They used to send music too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I remember
the Columbia Record Club.
One big DVD for me. We talked about Deep Blue, which was it Shout Factory has a Deep Blue?
Did you get that?
Not yet. I have to, because we've told this story before, but it's ridiculous. Me and Matt. We used to go to this place called Video City, which was a local video store by us.
Mom and pop rental shop.
Yeah, and it was down the block from where Matt used to live. And we rode our bikes there on a snowy day, and we used to buy DVDs, and the guy used to give us all the movie posters.
I think we went out early. We would go out early and shovel as many driveways in the neighborhood as we can, and we'd have maybe $30 each. And then we would just go to the video store and blow it on all used DVDs and video games.
Yeah, and I remember they had nothing that sparked my interest, and I was like, I love Kurt Russell, so I guess I'll get Deep Blue.
Just to buy something.
Or Dark Blue. And I still, to this day, haven't seen it. And I guess some people like it, because one of these boutique studios, I'm drawing a blank right now, has a release of it.
Yeah.
So I almost have to get it, because I still haven't seen it. I bought that DVD, and then I sold off my whole DVD collection, probably for one video game.
Right.
Because that's what I used to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Totally regret it now as a physical media collector, but, I was 12?
Yeah, the stuff I had fucking sold too, man.
Because GameStop even used to buy DVDs back in the day. Remember that?
They used to buy DVDs. They used to buy PC games. Mm-hmm. Because I had so much stuff that I remember having and just selling off. I remember I gave away my whole Sega Genesis and everything for a PlayStation.
We didn't grow up with money, so if we were going to get that stuff, that was the only way.
Yeah. And my dad always used to yell at me, "You're selling these things for pennies on the dollar. We paid so much for them." Every kid had heard this as a child. You're giving these things away for dirt, and you're getting one thing out of it. Which, at the end of the day, I get it, and it makes sense.
And he was right, but
it's I don't have a job. I want this. You're not going to buy it for me, so this is my currency. This is what I have.
They weren't just going to go buy us a new console. So it's I guess I got to get rid of all my old stuff to go get it.
It is August. My birthday's in November. I'm not waiting. I
know. It was so... I had to do that with my 360, and it killed me having to wait to my birthday. It came out in November, and I was like, I want it.
I remember trading in my GameCube and a handful of games, because I wasn't a big GameCube person, so I sold my GameCube with a handful of games to pre-order the Xbox 360.
A lot of our subscribers are big GameCube people.
The GameCube's okay.
I liked my game. Yeah, it was Ryan's GameCube, my brother. It was his GameCube, because I had the PS2, he had the GameCube, and then we shared an Xbox at my dad's house.
I had all three, and I would say the PS2 got the most use, then the Xbox, then the GameCube.
GameCube was definitely third, but GameCube had some good games. A lot of underrated games, like Super Mario Sunshine.
Mm-hmm, Mario Kart Double Dash,
Resident Evil 4 was on there.
RE4, they had the RE1 and RE0.
Zero was the big one. The
Yep.
Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil Zero.
Yeah, there was... GameCube had some good stuff, but again, I wasn't a Nintendo kid, I was more of a Sega person, and then the PlayStation came and blew everyone's socks off.
That took over for me too.
Yeah.
Once that came around, that was it.
And I was a PlayStation guy, and then I moved to a new neighborhood from my old neighborhood, and the first kid I met, my buddy Glenn, they were all Xbox kids. Him and his two brothers, they had a PS2 also, but them and everybody in the neighborhood primarily played Xbox. and everyone would meet up at Glenn's house. We would play Halo, the original Halo, System Link or Split Screen, and that was just like, oh, whoa, what is this? I never played it, and then I already had the Xbox, so I just got the game, and it's been history since then. So I got Halo 2, and then Halo 3's coming out. I was like, so it's either 360 and I get to play Halo 3, or I get this super expensive PS3 a year later. I'm gonna go with the 360, and it's been history since then.
That's exactly what happened to me too.
Yeah.
Same thing. PS3, that really hurt them.
Yeah.
Coming out 1 year after,
A year.
and then they shot themselves in the foot with it. Remember the price?
Yeah, they were telling people to if you want this, get a second job. But they literally said that at the press conference.
Because if you want, like, are you kidding me? You're gonna do that to your consumer when Xbox had.
And they're doing that now. They just raised the price of the PS5, not in our market.
No, in Japan, right? To $550.
Japan and somewhere else, to Germany maybe, or the UK, and it's crazy. Like,
as a business, it doesn't make sense.
so
though.
it's like, all right, you've been trying for 2 years to get this console. Well, if you find it, you have to give us another $50. Like,
yeah, and
what the fuck?
And Xbox is out there still at their same price.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and these are corporations. We're talking about Microsoft and Sony. Really, that $50 is going to make or break Sony?
Xbox just dropped the ball pretty hard too.
What happened with Xbox?
They canceled the co-op on Halo Infinite.
Yes, I did see this. And they also got Forge isn't coming.
Couch co-op.
And Forge 2 isn't coming out till November. And when they promoted this to us in November when we got the game, now given me and you specifically bought this on Game Pass, and I don't think you bought the physical edition yet, right?
No, we didn't buy anything. We just played the Game Pass version.
Yeah, but they definitely mismarketed it because, if I'm correct, Forge and Split Screen Co-op and just co-op campaign in general was supposed to come out, I think, February or March. First update. Mm-hmm. So now we're almost a year in because it came out in November, and we haven't gotten any of that.
Nope.
We got one update, I think, and that's it.
Yeah,
and now we're in September, and it's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, no, they dropped the ball pretty hard on Halo, and I'm a huge Halo fan. That's what
we have an early review on this channel of us talking about why we love Halo Infinite, because it really got us back into gaming for a while.
I mean, yeah, they should have waited a year before releasing it, sure. But they wanted to hit that mark of the anniversary and all that.
Well, don't forget it got delayed a year. Originally, it was supposed to come out with the launch
right,
of the
but it
Series
should have been
X.
delayed another year.
It should have been, but here's the problem, and this is a big problem nobody is talking about. The Series X and PS5, I'm going to say it, huge disappointment so far. We are almost 2 years in. Can you name me a real big next-gen experience that you have had? Because I can't.
Forza Horizon 5.
Forza Horizon 5, okay. That's the only one. And what do we get?
Miles Morales on the PS5.
That was a launch game, and that, if I'm correct, no, that didn't come to PS4. No, it did come to PS4 too. But has there really been like an exclusive, like where you went, oh my god, those graphics blew me away. I can't believe that you have to go get a PS5 to play this.
I haven't been playing PlayStation much, but you have Horizon Zero Dawn,
Forbidden West,
the Forbidden West, the new one.
Mm-hmm. But that I think got a PS4 release.
Demon Souls, right? That's
the Elden Ring. Elden Ring was big. Yes, Elden Ring was big, but the graphics on that still don't blow me away. But people love Elden Ring.
Yeah, but that's just the type. They had their Gran Turismo, which...
Well, that's another one where they mismarketed. Do you remember that whole debacle?
Vaguely.
Yeah, well, what happened was they released the game. All the critics released their reviews, gave this great reviews. Then they released an update, which pretty much made you have to either, what do they call those things? Microtransactions to really upgrade, or you can freaking go in and, grind. But it would take like 30 hours, and like it almost forced you or backed you into a corner to pay to upgrade.
Right.
And that's just, again, that's bad business practice. And the video game market in general is just, we have a whole video on this too, bad business practice of just releasing unfinished games. Games where they want you to invest more into the game. These are $60 to $70 games. And to expect people to have to invest in that and then pay for $20 to $30 upgrades is just insane. And the fact that that's what they're asking is...
And I kind of even, I collect video games also, and I kind of stopped buying physical games because you're getting, these games are what, 30, 40, 50 gigabytes? And the disc only has 2 gigabytes of the game on it. Everything else you have to download, update, patch, so it's not even really the full game anymore. So is it worth buying the physical? You know?
I know, and that sucks because Matt is huge. You guys see his movie collection, but his game collection probably doubles or triples his movie collection.
That's a much longer, because the movie collection is mainly Blu-rays. I've been collecting video games since Sega Genesis, really, you know?
Yeah, and he loves it. He loves it. He's always been big and
I'm just a collector, you know? Pokemon cards was a huge thing for me. I collected random shit as a kid, you know, I just enjoy collecting.
Yeah, Matt's a big into the collection thing, and he gets on me real hard about it, and it makes me feel guilty because I will stream a movie if I want to watch it. Matt's like, if Matt wants to watch a movie, Matt buys the movie.
Yeah, I'll buy the physical before I stream it.
Yeah, he'll spend and he can stream it for free. He owns these streaming services. Yeah, this just happened recently. Oh, I watched The Serpent and the Rainbow because we're doing Wes Craven soon, like we said, and I watched it on Peacock. It's free. We own Peacock. We have a Let's Talk Peacock account. We pay for it.
Yep.
Combined, it's $10 a month. And I'm like, okay, it's there. We have it. I'm gonna watch it. I've never seen this movie before. The reviews are great. I'm not going to go buy the Scream Factory release for $29 just to have it.
But it's Scream Factory.
And Matt, what does he do? I have to complete my Wes Craven collection, and then he fucking guilts me.
Well, neither of us have bought that yet.
No, we both haven't, but you will, and you know goddamn well you will.
100%, yeah, because I'm going for the Scream Factory collection.
Yeah, Matt wants to complete that Scream Factory. And I do too, but I just don't have the funds to do it.
Neither do I. That's what credit cards for.
Yeah, MasterCard and Visa and American Express really love you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely an addiction, but it's just like collecting Pokemon cards, but only I could take this card and put it into my Blu-ray player and watch a whole fucking movie.
You definitely get your money's worth eventually with collecting movies over Pokemon cards, that's for sure.
And how many times, like, Kevin Smith movies...
That fucked me bad, and you were right about that. You were right.
I have every single Kevin Smith
what were we talking about earlier this week? Was it The Hills Have... one of the Arrow 4Ks. See, I didn't know...
The Hills Have Eyes, which actually will be here today.
Yeah. I didn't realize these limited runs really shrunk that fast for studios like Arrow or Scream, where you really... If you don't buy them almost immediately...
They go out of print.
Yeah, you can almost lose them.
Especially the ones that say collector's edition on it. Like, they're not lying when they're saying collector's edition. Like, it's... Or limited edition, because they're not in print forever. Half the Shout Factory... Shout Factory will actually send you an email if you subscribe to them going out of print soon. Buy now or buy never, basically. So, that's pretty cool that they do it. But you really just... If you want the movie, you gotta kind of stay on top of it. And these boutique labels almost never ever go on sale. Amazon is probably going to be the cheapest price you'll find these. But then also later down the line, like if you're a slipcover person like I am, you gotta buy these things like day one, or else you're not gonna.
Oh yeah, they only do that, and they tell you on Blu-ray.com it'll say slipcover on initial release, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's very rare that you'll find a slipcover on something that is a few years old.
Yeah, that happened to me with Man of Steel, where I was like, I think you got the slipcover. And I didn't, and I was pretty upset. We ordered it at the same time, and I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, it's just, I don't understand. Did they not put slipcovers on everything? Did they get lost in translation? Did they get beat up, ripped off, and
that happens to me a couple times from Best Buy, where like they've sent me it with the slipcover, and then the slipcover's ripped, and I was like, the fuck? And then if you bring it back, chances are they'll just give you one without a slipcover.
And why don't they wrap the slipcover in the plastic? Like, Shout Factory does that sometimes. Like, the slipcover will be wrapped in plastic also. And then sometimes the movie's even sealed. It's double sealed sometimes. So it's like, why don't they just do that with everything? Because the slipcover's pretty nice. You know?
Yeah, and like, come on. We know UPS and the post office, they're not going to they don't know what's in that package, and it gets ripped up, and it gets beat up, and it can be a little frustrating sometimes. But I think we've gone long enough on here, don't you?
I guess, yeah. Did we hit all our talking points this week?
We hit everything. We don't have any questions this week, unfortunately. No one asked any questions, but we do want questions from you guys. So if you want to ask questions every week, anything you want us to collect, anything we have any opinions on, definitely ask them. You can ask them in this video, or I usually put out a poll. And the only question that was asked this week, Matt asked me if there was any way I could make myself not look ugly. And the answer is simply no. This is how I'm going to look. I think I look gorgeous, and I'm pretty satisfied with how I look.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be a little worried, though.
That makes one of us.
I mean, if one of us looks... I feel like I'm the looks, and the brains, and the muscle. So what are you?
I don't know.
The wild card?
The wild card.
But that'll do it for us on another episode of Let's Talk Physical Media. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like we said, ask us some questions for next week. We're going to be doing this every single week. It's a lot of fun for us to make. We hope you enjoy it as much as we have fun making it. If not, we can't do it. So we hope you guys like it. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe because nothing would help us out more. And then, when you're done with all that, I want you guys to go out and tell all your friends.